Have you ever looked at your water bottle at the end of the day, realized you drank every glass your doctor recommended, and still wondered why you felt exhausted? Maybe your legs become heavy after a short walk. Maybe climbing a flight of stairs leaves you breathing harder than it used to. Perhaps your hands feel cold even in a warm room, or you find yourself losing energy long before lunchtime. If any of that sounds familiar, today's conversation may change the way you think about hydration forever. I'm Dr. James Carter, and over the years I've spoken with hundreds of older adults who were doing what they believed was everything right. They stayed active when they could. They tried to eat balanced meals. They remembered to carry a bottle of water wherever they went. Yet many of them still complained about fatigue, sluggish circulation, stiffness, and the feeling that their bodies simply didn't respond the way they once did. Most assumed they just needed to drink more water. But the human body changes with age in ways that make hydration far more complicated than simply filling a glass. After the age of 60, several natural processes begin to slow down. Your sense of thirst may become less reliable. Your kidneys may not regulate fluids and minerals as efficiently as they did decades earlier. Blood vessels gradually lose some of their flexibility, and the cells lining those vessels face years of accumulated stress from normal aging, lifestyle, and environmental factors. The result is something many people never consider. You can be drinking enough fluid while still failing to provide your body with some of the nutrients and naturally occurring compounds that help support healthy circulation and normal vascular function. Now, I want to be very clear before we go any further. This is not a message telling you to stop drinking plain water. Water remains essential for every organ in your body. Without it, nothing else we discuss today matters. What I am suggesting is something different. For many older adults, plain water doesn't have to do all the work alone. Nature provides a number of beverages that contain compounds capable of supporting healthy hydration, helping maintain normal blood vessel function, and contributing to overall cardiovascular wellness when they become part of an otherwise healthy lifestyle. The key is understanding which drinks deserve a place in your routine, how they work, and when they make the most sense. That's exactly what we're going to explore today. Rather than giving you another list of trendy health drinks, I want to walk you through 5 evidence-informed choices that each support the body in a different way. One may help replenish important minerals that become more difficult to balance with age. Another contains naturally occurring plant compounds associated with healthy inflammatory responses and better nighttime recovery. One has been studied extensively for its relationship with vascular function and cognitive health. Another has attracted attention for supporting healthy blood pressure in certain adults when consumed as part of a balanced diet. And the final drink works through a fascinating pathway involving a tiny signaling molecule that plays an enormous role in healthy circulation. By the end of this video, you'll understand not only what these drinks are, but why your body may respond to them differently now than it did 20 or 30 years ago. As we go along, remember that no single food or drink can erase decades of aging, and none of these options should replace medications or treatment recommended by your healthcare provider. Think of them as tools, simple habits that may help support the remarkable cardiovascular system that has carried you through an entire lifetime. So let's begin with something many people have seen in the grocery store countless times, but rarely think of as anything more than a refreshing tropical drink. The story behind it is much more interesting than most people realize. Before we move into the more surprising options on today's list, let's begin with 2 drinks that work through completely different pathways. One helps your body maintain a healthier mineral balance, while the other focuses on recovery, inflammation, and restorative sleep. Neither is a miracle solution, but both can become valuable additions to a healthy routine when used appropriately. Let's start with coconut water. Many people think of coconut water as something athletes drink after an intense workout. That's understandable because it's often marketed that way. But as we grow older, the conversation becomes much more interesting. One of the challenges of aging is that the body gradually becomes less efficient at maintaining fluid and electrolyte balance. Even if you're drinking enough water, your cells still depend on minerals like potassium and sodium to move fluids where they're needed and to support normal muscle and nerve function. Potassium deserves special attention because many older adults simply don't get enough of it through their daily diet. Fresh fruits and vegetables remain the best sources, but natural coconut water can also contribute meaningful amounts without the excessive sugar found in many commercial soft drinks. Think of potassium as part of your body's communication network. Every heartbeat, every muscle contraction, and every nerve signal relies on carefully balanced electrical activity. When that balance is disrupted, your body may not perform as efficiently as it once did. That doesn't mean coconut water is appropriate for everyone. Individuals with kidney disease or those following a potassium-restricted diet should always speak with their healthcare provider before increasing their intake. More is not always better, especially when medical conditions are involved. If your doctor has no concerns, a small glass of unsweetened coconut water can be a refreshing alternative to sugary beverages, particularly on warmer days or after light physical activity. The goal isn't to replace plain water, but to occasionally complement it with a drink that naturally contains beneficial minerals. One simple habit I often recommend is pairing it with a balanced breakfast that includes healthy sources of magnesium and protein. Foods such as plain yogurt, pumpkin seeds, or a handful of unsalted nuts can help create a more satisfying meal while supporting overall nutrition. Now let's move to a drink that many people associate with desserts rather than healthy aging. Tart, cherry concentrate mixed with water, has attracted growing scientific interest because of its naturally occurring plant compounds, particularly anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for its deep red color. As the years pass, many adults notice that they don't recover from physical activity as quickly as they once did. A morning walk may leave the knees feeling stiff. Gardening might result in lingering soreness. Even a restless night can seem to affect the entire following day. While these experiences are part of normal aging, researchers continue exploring nutritional strategies that may help support healthy inflammatory responses and better recovery. This is where tart cherries become especially interesting. Their naturally occurring compounds have been studied for their relationship with exercise recovery, joint comfort, and sleep quality. Although research is still evolving and individual responses vary, many adults find that incorporating tart cherry into an overall healthy lifestyle becomes one small step that supports how they feel from day to day. I remember speaking with a retired elementary school teacher named Evelyn Brooks. At 69, she wasn't looking for dramatic changes. Her biggest wish was simply to enjoy her evening walks again without feeling unusually stiff the next morning. We reviewed her daily habits together. She stayed reasonably active but often skipped balanced dinners, drank very little throughout the afternoon, and relied heavily on coffee to stay alert after poor nights of sleep. Instead of chasing a quick fix, we focused on building a healthier evening routine. She reduced late-day caffeine, ate a more balanced dinner, stayed consistently hydrated throughout the day, and occasionally included diluted unsweetened tart cherry concentrate in the evening. Several weeks later, Evelyn told me something that stayed with me. She didn't say she felt 20 years younger. She didn't claim every ache had disappeared. She simply said she was waking up feeling more rested, and because of that, she felt motivated to move more during the day. Sometimes those are the improvements that matter most. Healthy aging rarely comes from one dramatic decision. More often, it's the result of many small habits working together over months and years. As we continue our countdown, we're going to shift from recovery and hydration to something that concerns nearly every older adult at some point: the health of the blood vessels that carry oxygen and nutrients to the brain. The next drink has been studied not only for cardiovascular wellness, but also for the role it may play in supporting healthy cognitive function. And one simple mistake in the way most people prepare it may prevent them from getting its greatest potential benefits. Now let's turn our attention to a drink that has been enjoyed for centuries, yet many people never realize how much the way they prepare it can influence its potential benefits. I'm talking about green tea. For many adults over 60, maintaining energy isn't simply about getting enough sleep. It's also about delivering oxygen and nutrients efficiently throughout the body. Your muscles need healthy circulation to stay active, and your brain depends on a steady blood supply to support attention, memory, and clear thinking. Green tea contains naturally occurring compounds known as catechins, with one of the most widely studied being epigallocatechin gallate, often shortened to EGCG. While the name sounds complicated, the concept is much easier to understand. Imagine the inner lining of your blood vessels as a team of workers responsible for keeping traffic moving smoothly. Over time, years of normal aging, environmental stress, and everyday wear can make those workers less efficient. Healthy lifestyle habits, including a diet rich in plant-based foods, may help create a better environment for those cells to do their job. Researchers have spent years investigating how the compounds in green tea interact with blood vessels, oxidative stress, and healthy aging. Although no single beverage can prevent disease, studies suggest that regularly consuming green tea as part of a balanced lifestyle may support cardiovascular wellness and healthy cognitive aging. One reason scientists remain interested is that EGCG functions as a powerful antioxidant. Oxidative stress is a natural process that occurs in every living cell, but when it outweighs the body's ability to manage it, tissues may become less resilient over time. Think of it like leaving a favorite garden bench outdoors for decades. Even if the bench remains strong, constant exposure to the elements gradually changes its appearance. Your blood vessels experience something similar after many years of supporting every heartbeat and every step you take. Fortunately, many healthy habits work together to support those tissues, and nutrition is one of them. Preparation matters more than most people realize. One common mistake is pouring boiling water directly over delicate green tea leaves. Extremely hot water may reduce the quality of some of the natural compounds that make green tea unique, while also creating a bitter flavor that encourages people to add sugar. Instead, allow the water to cool slightly after boiling before steeping the tea for just a few minutes. The result is usually a smoother drink that's easier to enjoy without sweeteners. Another simple tip is to add a squeeze of fresh lemon. Besides brightening the flavor, vitamin C may help preserve certain plant compounds during digestion, making this combination a popular choice among nutrition researchers. Timing can also make a difference. Many people enjoy green tea during the morning or late morning when they want gentle alertness without relying on excessive coffee. If you're sensitive to caffeine, however, avoid drinking it too late in the day so it doesn't interfere with sleep. Remember, no drink works in isolation. A cup of green tea cannot undo smoking, inactivity, poor nutrition, or years of unmanaged medical conditions. But when combined with regular movement, balanced meals, quality sleep, and routine medical care, it can become another positive habit that supports healthy aging. We've now discussed hydration, mineral balance, recovery, and antioxidant support. The next drink shifts our focus towards something that quietly affects millions of older adults, often without causing obvious symptoms until years later. Let's talk about blood pressure. Blood pressure is sometimes called the silent challenge of aging because it can gradually increase without causing pain or obvious warning signs. Many people feel perfectly well while their arteries are working harder than they should. That's why regular monitoring is so important, especially after the age of 60. Lifestyle changes remain one of the foundations of healthy blood pressure management, and among the beverages researchers continue to investigate, hibiscus tea stands out for its rich concentration of naturally occurring plant compounds. If you've ever seen dried crimson flowers sold for herbal tea, you've probably seen hibiscus. Its vibrant color comes from anthocyanins, the same family of plant pigments found in foods such as blueberries and blackberries. These compounds have attracted scientific interest because of their relationship with antioxidant activity and vascular health. Several clinical studies have explored whether regular hibiscus tea, when consumed as part of an overall healthy lifestyle, may help support healthy blood pressure in some adults. While the results have been encouraging, they also remind us of something important. Nutrition works best as part of a broader approach, not as a substitute for prescribed treatment. That distinction matters. If you're already taking medication for high blood pressure, never stop or adjust it simply because you've started drinking hibiscus tea. Any significant lifestyle change should be discussed with a healthcare professional managing your treatment, especially if your blood pressure is already well controlled. I remember meeting a gentleman named Daniel Hayes shortly after his 73rd birthday. Daniel wasn't searching for a miracle. His goal was much simpler. He wanted enough energy to enjoy mornings with his grandchildren without feeling drained before lunch. During our conversations, we looked beyond numbers on a blood pressure monitor. We talked about sodium intake, daily walking, sleep habits, stress, body weight, and the beverages he reached for throughout the day. One of the changes he chose, with approval from his physician, was replacing one sugary afternoon drink with unsweetened hibiscus tea. Months later, Daniel didn't describe his success in terms of laboratory values. Instead, he smiled and said, "I finally feel like my afternoons belong to me again." That sentence has stayed with me because healthy aging isn't only about improving measurements. It's about preserving the freedom to enjoy ordinary moments. If you'd like to try hibiscus tea, prepare it without adding large amounts of sugar. If you prefer a touch of sweetness, fresh fruit served alongside your tea is often a better choice than turning the drink into a dessert. Like every beverage we've discussed today, moderation matters. One cup won't transform your health overnight, and several cups won't necessarily produce greater benefits. Consistency almost always matters more than excess. So far, we've explored drinks that support hydration, recovery, antioxidant protection, and healthy blood pressure. But the final drink on today's list works through an entirely different pathway, one that becomes increasingly important as we age because our bodies naturally become less efficient at producing a molecule essential for flexible, healthy blood vessels. Understanding that pathway may change the way you look at one ordinary root vegetable forever. Before we talk about the final drink on today's list, I want to introduce you to something that most people have never heard of, even though it influences nearly every heartbeat they experience. It's called nitric oxide. Despite the scientific name, its job is surprisingly simple. Think of nitric oxide as a messenger. It helps the smooth muscle surrounding your blood vessels know when it's time to relax. When that message is clear, blood can move more freely. Oxygen reaches working muscles more efficiently, and your heart doesn't have to push quite as hard to deliver nutrients throughout the body. The challenge is that this natural signaling system doesn't stay exactly the same forever. As we grow older, the body becomes less efficient at producing and maintaining adequate nitric oxide. This happens gradually, often over decades, so most people never notice the change until everyday activities begin to feel more demanding. You may not realize it at first. Perhaps you become tired halfway through grocery shopping. You pause more often while climbing stairs. Your daily walk becomes a little shorter every year. These changes can happen for many reasons, and they should never be blamed on a single factor. Heart health, lung function, muscle strength, medications, sleep quality, and chronic medical conditions all play important roles. But researchers continue to investigate nitric oxide because it appears to be one important piece of a much larger puzzle. Fortunately, your body already knows how to make it. Regular walking, resistance exercise, eating a variety of vegetables, maintaining healthy gums and oral health, getting adequate sleep, and avoiding smoking all support the systems involved in healthy vascular function. Nutrition becomes especially important because certain vegetables naturally contain dietary nitrates that your body can use as part of this remarkable process. One detail surprises many people. The journey begins in your mouth. Beneficial bacteria living on the tongue participate in the first steps of converting dietary nitrates into compounds your body can eventually use to produce nitric oxide. It's a fascinating reminder that healthy aging isn't about one organ working alone. Your mouth, digestive system, blood vessels, kidneys, muscles, and heart are constantly communicating with one another. This also explains why balance matters. No single supplement, powder, or trendy health product can replace the combined effect of healthy daily habits. Small decisions repeated consistently almost always outperform dramatic changes that last only a week. So if nitric oxide is one of the body's most valuable messengers, where can we naturally find one of the richest food sources that supports this pathway? The answer may already be sitting in the produce section of your local grocery store. Let's take a closer look. The final drink on today's list begins with an ordinary vegetable that many people overlook because of its earthy taste and deep crimson color: beetroot. For generations, it has been used in soups, salads, and traditional recipes around the world. Today, scientists continue studying it for a different reason: its naturally occurring dietary nitrates. When beetroot is eaten or consumed as juice, those naturally occurring nitrates become part of the pathway we just discussed. Your body gradually converts them into nitric oxide, helping support normal blood vessel function during everyday activity. Notice the wording I used: support, not cure, not reverse aging, not replace medical treatment. Healthy nutrition works alongside the body's own systems. That's where its greatest strength lies. Many adults tell me they're not trying to run marathons anymore. They simply want enough energy to enjoy a morning walk with their spouse, spend an afternoon gardening, travel without feeling exhausted, or keep up with energetic grandchildren during family gatherings. Those goals deserve just as much attention as athletic performance. If you decide to include beetroot in your diet, keep it simple. Fresh roasted beets, homemade beetroot juice, or an unsweetened beetroot powder mixed with water can all be reasonable options. Choose products with as few added ingredients as possible, and avoid turning a healthy drink into a sugary dessert. Timing may also influence how you feel. Many physically active adults prefer consuming beetroot 1 to 2 hours before activities such as walking, cycling, or light exercise, giving the body time to process the naturally occurring nitrates. Another practical suggestion is to build an entire meal around colorful vegetables instead of focusing on one ingredient alone. Bell peppers, leafy greens, citrus fruits, berries, tomatoes, and other produce provide vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants that work together rather than independently. There is one harmless surprise you should know about. After eating beetroot, some people notice that their urine or stool develops a reddish or pink color. This temporary change is often caused by natural pigments from the vegetable itself and usually isn't a reason for concern. However, if you notice blood when you haven't eaten beetroot, or if the color change is accompanied by pain, dizziness, fever, or other unusual symptoms, seek medical evaluation promptly instead of assuming it's food-related. People with certain kidney conditions or a history of specific types of kidney stones should also discuss major dietary changes with their healthcare provider before regularly consuming concentrated beetroot products. The goal isn't to chase the perfect drink. The goal is to build a routine that your body can benefit from consistently. We've now explored hydration, minerals, recovery, antioxidant-rich beverages, healthy blood pressure habits, and the fascinating role of nitric oxide. But before we finish, there's one final question that matters more than any individual drink. How do you bring all of these ideas together without making healthy living feel complicated? That's exactly where we'll finish in the final part. We've covered a lot together today. We've talked about hydration, mineral balance, antioxidant-rich beverages, healthy circulation, nitric oxide, and simple nutrition choices that may support your cardiovascular system as you grow older. But if there's one message I hope stays with you after this video, it's this. Healthy aging is rarely transformed by one extraordinary decision. It's shaped by hundreds of ordinary decisions repeated consistently. Many people spend years searching for the perfect supplement, the perfect superfood, or the one drink that will solve every problem. Unfortunately, our bodies don't work that way. Your heart doesn't rely on one healthy choice. Your blood vessels don't depend on one vitamin. Your muscles don't stay strong because of one meal. Everything inside your body works as an interconnected system, and every healthy habit strengthens the next. That means the greatest question isn't, which drink is number one? The better question is, how can I build a routine that I can actually maintain? For some people, that might begin with replacing one sugary drink each day with plain water or unsweetened tea. For someone else, it may mean enjoying green tea during the morning instead of another cup of sweetened coffee. Others may choose to include beetroot before an afternoon walk or add tart cherry concentrate to an evening routine that already includes good sleep habits. The exact choice matters less than the consistency behind it. One habit performed every day for a year is almost always more valuable than an ambitious health plan that lasts only 2 weeks. I also encourage you to pay attention to your own body rather than chasing every trend you see online. Notice how you feel after making a small change. Are you sleeping more comfortably? Do your afternoon walks feel a little easier? Do you have more energy to prepare dinner, spend time with your family, or enjoy hobbies you've neglected? These are meaningful improvements because they reflect the quality of your daily life. Remember that healthy circulation isn't only about protecting your heart. Every organ depends on an effective blood supply. Your brain relies on it to stay sharp. Your muscles need it to remain active. Your kidneys, eyes, skin, and every cell in your body benefit when blood can deliver oxygen and nutrients efficiently. That's why caring for your cardiovascular system is really about caring for your entire future. I also want to remind you that nutrition should never replace professional medical care. Continue taking medications exactly as prescribed. Keep your regular appointments. Monitor your blood pressure if your physician recommends it. Stay physically active within your abilities. And if you're considering significant dietary changes because of kidney disease, diabetes, heart failure, or another chronic condition, have that conversation with your healthcare provider first. There is tremendous value in combining good medical care with healthy everyday habits instead of choosing one over the other. As we finish today, I'd like you to think about one simple question. If you could improve just one area of your health over the next 6 months, what would it be? Would you like to have more energy, walk farther without becoming tired, sleep more peacefully, feel steadier on your feet, keep your mind sharp enough to enjoy conversations, books, and time with the people you love? Those goals are worth working toward, and they don't require perfection. They simply require patience. Your body has carried you through every chapter of your life. It has adapted to challenges, recovered from illness, healed after injuries, and continued working every single day without asking for recognition. Now is a good time to return that kindness. Feed it nourishing foods, stay hydrated, move a little every day, protect your sleep. Give yourself permission to improve one habit at a time instead of trying to change everything overnight. Small choices become daily routines. Daily routines become lifelong patterns, and those patterns often determine how independent, active, and confident we remain in the years ahead. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you found this discussion helpful, I'd love to know which idea stood out to you the most. Was there a drink you hadn't considered before? Is there a habit you're planning to start this week? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read them regularly, and many of your questions inspire future topics for this channel. If you enjoy practical, science-informed conversations about healthy aging, nutrition, and cardiovascular wellness, consider subscribing so you don't miss future discussions. Until next time, take good care of yourself, keep making steady progress, and remember that it's never too late to support your health with thoughtful decisions made one day at a time. I'm Dr. James Carter, and I'll see you again soon.